But what we're going to do is get started straight away because it's 4 p.m. on a Thursday. We're about to enter a long weekend. And what better way to do that than with bubbles? Guys, gals, guys and gals on the webinar right now. I want to introduce you to my main man. This is Mr. Henri Abele. It's the third oldest champagne house of Reims, pioneer of the frozen disgorge method, and the champagne house that was actually served on the Titanic. Yes, on the Titanic. So, as they say, you can really sink a bottle. Yeah, I know. The dad jokes are real during lockdown, aren't they? I really, really love this champagne. I know that champagne is all about marketing. Okay, I know that people can look at champagne and go, "Why would you spend that much money on a bottle of champagne?" I I see love, I see passion when I see a bottle of champagne. I see people in the vineyards for a whole year taking care of those vineyards. I see a 2-week period where they hand prune those grapes. I then see them gently pressing those grapes. I then see them putting this wine into bottles with yeast and letting them sit there for 3 years before they choose to disgorge, which then it will sit for another year before we see this bottle. And for every bottle of non-vintage champagne to come out tasting the same, like that is an art, that is love. So when people say to me, why would you spend money on champagne? I ask, well, would you spend $60 for, say, 5 years of someone's life? That's how I look at it. But Champagne Henri Abele, as I mentioned, third oldest champagne house of Reims, pioneer of this frozen disgorge method, which is how we can get a clear bottle of wine. So the wine is clear. But what I love about Abele is they do spend 3 years on lees for their non-vintage Brut. All their grapes come from the Montagne de Reims and the Côte de Blanc. So we're talking really high quality grapes. This is not a grower champagne, it is a negotiant champagne. What does that mean? They don't own vineyards. But what I love about Henri Abele is it's the only champagne house allowed to have the Sourire de Reims, or the smile of Reims, on its label. Because after the war, after the fires swept through Reims in 1914, Henri Abele started the fund to rebuild that cathedral. That cathedral is important because that's where all the kings of France were coronated. So as a thank you from the city, it was gifted Le Sourire de Reims, which is this beautiful angel behind me. And if you've been to Reims, you'll definitely know about the Sourire de Reims. It is the symbol of Reims. It's the symbol of the town. So absolutely love it for that story. But the champagne itself, what I love about it is it's toasty cinnamon and honey. You can tell it's had those 3 years on lees. If For those who haven't tasted this, if you know Bollinger or Bilcart Salmon, this is the style that it reminds me of. Mm. And it's just this vibrant petulance, like it's really bubbly and fresh and so much acidity, of course, which is what you'd expect from champagne, but it's got so much fruit. So even though it's got it's like that apple core, beautiful apple core. So that's the I guess the quality of the Chardonnay grapes that they're using. For those interested, the blend of this champagne is 40% Chardonnay, 35 Pinot Noir with 25 Meunier. So it's really well balanced. And look, I'm a bit of a snob. I think that all champagne needs to have a little bit of Meunier in it. Just saying. Don't tell the champagne police that. I just think it adds a little bit of complexity, a lot of depth. It gets this, these really beautiful fruit characters that come through thanks to Meunier. I am obsessed with Henri Abele. I don't know if anyone's tasted this. I mean, this is a webinar style, so I can't see you. But if you haven't, I highly recommend you try it. It has become my favorite champagne. It is very dry. You're looking at under 10 grams residual sugar on this champagne, and absolutely love it. Just let me have another sip.